going to affect the end organ.
But might not, but don't you think all the nerves should have a chance to function properly? That's all I'm saying. Not offering it as a treatment or a cure, merely the fact that the body functions better if its nerves aren't damaged. If I were to suggest to you that your body works better if your arteries aren't tied off, you'd say, well, of course. And that's true of nerves not being damaged. And for organized medicine, and I'm glad to see you're one of the enlightened physicians who at least is willing to listen, but organized medicine for years has conducted a campaign of self-serving propaganda to say, don't go to a chiropractor. God forbid chiropractors should help people. That'll make the physicians look bad. And I suggest, Dr. Williams, that you have been reading an awful lot of AMA propaganda and not doing any private research. If you were to check for yourself, I would suggest this. You have Dr. Ronberg, who's a chiropractor in this city. May I ask if you would take not all of your patients, just take your patients who fail to respond to your treatment as well as you would like. Take only your failure patients and send them to Dr. Ronberg and monitor them in an experiment. I'm not guaranteeing they'll get better, but don't you think you'd be interested in finding out if they would? Rather than condemning his practice blanket and saying it doesn't work, why don't you check and find out?
I have not condemned chiropractic at all.
Well, you said it has no validity.
Yes, I did. I said it has
You
no
don't think that's a
scientific
condemnation?
validity, according to the sources that I have read.
Well, may I suggest, sir, that you check other sources?
Now, I would not be interested in
finding the truth.
Checking it out. Number one,
you're not interested in checking it out?
Let him finish.
Dr. Ronberg has said that quite a few of the chiropractics do not practice pure chiropractic.
Well, that's true.
And you said yourself, you condemn your own profession by saying that the board, the chiropractic board members were doing things which they should not do.
Some. Don't misquote me as saying all.
Illegal. Well,
I will also say some medical doctors are blatant quacks.
So,
it doesn't mean all.
I don't think we would say that about the persons who actually rule and govern our organization and our state medicine. I don't think we have on our board anything of that type.
It's time you looked into them. Seems to me, I would suggest that the powers that rule the entire medical profession are corrupt. You know, we have a program here.
Let me say, let me say this. What is chiropractic? We're not going to get behind the walls finding out who's corrupt and who's not corrupt.
But isn't it interesting that to find out what is chiropractic, you bring in anti-chiropractors?
I agree with you, but not to the point of calling somebody a crook, not to the point of using the word quackery, because even I personally, as a host, stayed away from that. I'm not going to have that, okay? You can talk, you can discuss things. We don't want to get behind questioning the individual's credibility as we've done. I think we've done enough on this subject.
You do that the moment you bring on chiropractic and have investigating it.
Okay,
no,
Doctor,
you're not letting me make a very valid point.
We've dwelled on that. Let's take some
I
more
don't think so. You have said we're going to discuss chiropractic and bring onto the show non-chiropractors and anti-chiropractors who admittedly don't know what the subject is.
Okay, we have 30 minutes yet for them to find out. If we keep dwelling on this damn subject, we'll never find out, will we?
Interesting that you don't want me to get that point across.
Good evening, phone power. Your question or comment? You're on the air.
Yes, for Dr. Gold, please, or Dr. Ronberg. Is it true that newborn babies and infants should be checked by a chiropractor for subluxations that might have happened in childbirth?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the obvious trend towards natural childbirth and home birth in this country is significant, and the fact that people are seeking out a more natural approach, possibly because of side effects or problems which have stemmed from delivering children in the hospitals. Recently there was a study by Dr. Abraham Taubin at the University of Boston's Medical School. He's a leading pathologist and bacteriologist at that university, and he was assigned the task of researching sudden infant death syndrome, and this is commonly referred to as crib death. And he discovered in doing autopsies of 7 out of 8 of the crib death victims that these victims, these infants who have died mysteriously, have nerve pressure in their upper cervical spine, and he believes that this is cutting off vital function to the lung tissue, and that the children, the infants, are dying from respiratory failure. So coming from a leading pathologist, such as Dr. Abraham Taubin, I think that it is very significant to chiropractic, and for the people who are desiring to learn more about chiropractic, that they investigate the possibility of having all of their children examined as soon as possible after delivery. One of the things that he thinks is the cause of this multiple vertebral subluxation, or this pressure on the spinal cord in the upper part of the neck, is because of mishandling at birth, and because of forceps or suppressed labors, because of pills that are given to the mothers to stimulate or to speed up the delivery process. We've interfered with this process so much, we've turned it into a disease process, and we're sending women off to the hospitals to bear their children.